Hey guys, it's Callum. So, I was lucky enough to attend the Avengers Infinity War press and fan screening in London last night, where we were shown around 20 to 30 minutes of footage from the first act of the movie. According to the Russo brothers, this wasn't exactly the beginning of the film, but all happens really early on. Don't worry, this video will be non-spoilers. I will not discuss any major plot points, however, some of the footage we saw has already been released, either in trailers or on talk shows, and those scenes I will talk about, given that you've probably seen them. To start off, I want to talk about the tone. The trailers have all been very serious, more like what we see in Civil War, and less like what we see in Guardians of the Galaxy. But the footage we were shown had a lot of comedy, and it all landed. The incredible thing about the first scene we saw was how the comedy didn't clash with the serious tension of what was looming over the horizon. It felt very natural, like these guys are all scared about what's coming, and the humour is almost like a defence mechanism, a distraction they provide themselves to keep going. Also, there's some really nice visual comedy that comes from the film itself rather than the characters. It's hard to explain exactly what I mean without spoilers, but rest assured, not all of the comedy comes from a character's speech. Next up, the interaction. We're all excited to see some of these characters meet, many of which haven't yet, and I never realised just how perfectly they would blend together. I thought having Tony Stark and Stephen Strange in the same room would feel like a contest of arrogance and it would be a bit too much. But actually, the clash of their personalities worked really well. Seeing Stark and Strange interact is everything you're hoping it will be. And then we get to see Thor meet the Guardians of the Galaxy, which you've seen some parts of.
Alright Guardians, don't forget this might be dangerous, so let's put on our mean faces.
What happened?
Oh! Wipers! Wipers! Get it off!
Who are you guys?
The interactions between Thor and Peter Quill are priceless, as are Thor's reactions to the Guardians in general. I'd really like to see Thor have a role in Guardians 3. He just blends so well with that group, I'd love to see more. There was also some really great action in one of the scenes, which gave us our introduction to Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw. You think Thanos is the only threat to the Avengers? No. The children of Thanos are very powerful, especially Ebony Maw, who's also highly intelligent, while Cull Obsidian is more like the brawn of these two. Various fighting ensues at various points in the footage. We see some Iron Man and his new nanotech bleeding edge armour, Spider-Man doing his thing, being very, very powerful, and we get to see him in his Iron Spider suit. We had some Bruce Banner, but not really much Hulk. I'm not going to spoil why, but it has nothing to do with him not wanting to turn into the Hulk, like in Thor Ragnarok. It's actually a very different reason, which I quite like. Last year, Mark Ruffalo said Hulk was getting a 3-part story arc across Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Avengers 4. And we have started to see that story arc expand further than what was seeded in Ragnarok, which is really great to see. In regards to the characters themselves, they all feel like themselves, which is great. Of course, this film is directed by the Russo brothers, so if you saw Civil War, you know those two are very good at juggling all these characters, making sure they all feel the same in this film as they do in their solo outings. Doctor Strange feels just like the Strange we saw in 2016, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are still the same lovable idiots they are in their own films. The only slight exception to this is Thor. We saw Thor reinvented in Ragnarok. He was less Shakespearean and more witty in a silly, almost childlike way. Infinity War sort of regresses Thor back to who he was in Age of Ultron and prior films to some extent, but did manage to keep some of Thor's newfound wit. So if you found the sudden change in Thor's character jarring in Ragnarok, you may be jarred again, but in the opposite direction. But I think the Russo brothers actually did a very good job blending those two extreme versions of Thor into something down the middle, which feels just right. He speaks like an Asgardian, fairly Shakespearean and otherworldly, but is also in tune with his own sense of humour, finding time to squabble with Peter Quill and call the Guardians morons. Overall, the 30 minutes we saw were tense, action-packed, hilarious, and made us unbearably excited to watch the entire film. I loved it, and I'm confident you're going to love it too. So this video has generally been spoiler-free, but if you would like me to make a spoiler video, feel free to comment below and let me know. I can do that, but of course the film is still a few weeks away, so I figured I would avoid any spoilers here. It's been a long time since I've uploaded to this channel. I've had a lot of time to reflect on what kind of content I want to produce, what kind of stuff people want to see, and I figured there are just so many things that I want to talk about that are not gaming related, so you're going to start seeing a lot more of this kind of videos soon. Marvel videos, DC videos, among the usual gaming videos. This channel will be more active again, given that we haven't uploaded in nearly a year, but I am getting back to it, so please like, subscribe, and share this around.